Alright guys, back with another video. So Mark Nixon posted this on X. Go give him a follow and check out his YouTube channel if you haven't already. But he said, Stephen McKinnon says he can't confirm if the Liberals plan on removing the carbon tax legislation. Which is the only way you can actually get rid of the carbon tax, by the way. But don't worry, quote, it's at zero, trust us bro, end quote. It's not repealed, it's not removed, it's just paused. Until it's not. Do you trust the Liberal government? First of all, let me know what you think in the comments section. Do you trust that they're actually going to get rid of this thing? I can't wait to hear your comments. But also, let's have a look at this video, then we'll talk about it after, like usual.
Do you plan to introduce legislation to repeal the consumer carbon tax?
Look, that will have to be done eventually. We want to remove, the carbon tax has been removed. It's at zero.
Well, it's being zeroed. It's not the same thing.
So, it's a latent piece of legislation. I don't know if you've seen the statutes of Canada. There are a lot of laws on the books that either aren't applied anymore or are simply ignored, maybe even forgotten. But the carbon tax is absolutely gone. And,
no, it's not.
We'll make sure that that's made very clear to Canadians in due course.
Well, the reason why I ask about that is because, and I'm sure you're familiar with it, the criticism raised by the Conservatives when it was, zeroed was that essentially leaving the possibility open for a time when we are not in a crisis or when your government doesn't feel it is as unpopular as the new Prime Minister has deemed it to be, because you and your colleagues spent years, almost 6 years in fact, saying it was a very vital policy instrument. So there is no chance, you're saying, of that consumer carbon tax ever being resurrected under a Mark Carney government?
Let me be very clear. Mark Carney has been very clear. There is absolutely no intention to go back to a consumer carbon tax.
And when you say that in due course, you mean at one point you do plan to repeal that legislation?
Well, we will absolutely be making it very clear to Canadians
Look at that.
there is no plan to return to a carbon tax. None. Zero.
But what does
He's not even going to promise that they're going to remove it from legislation. Now, if you're being very clear, then just make it very clear and remove it from legislation. Have a vote on it. It's going to pass. But they won't commit to it. I wonder why that is.
What does that mean, other than you saying that?
Well, you'll understand that on a very serious level, it's important for me to not speculate about the contents of legislation before it's presented in the House. So if and when that legislation were to be presented, I think that that Canadians would find a reassurance that the carbon tax no longer is part of the climate framework.
You're right that you wouldn't be able to disclose the contents, but you can, and your government has in the past signaled that you intend to introduce something legislatively to that effect. You're not being clear.
I think I've been pretty clear that
Say it
the
again.
net effect for all consumers is there will be no carbon tax. We have no intention of returning to the carbon tax. It is not part of the climate change policy mix for this government.
Hey guys, I want to make something very clear. The Liberal Party is full of shit. If they wanted to get rid of the carbon tax, the first thing they would do today when they return to Parliament, or even tomorrow, would be to hold a legislation, or hold a vote rather, to get rid of the legislation, actually removing it, not just putting a pause on it. Usually when you hit the pause button, you intend to resume and hit the play button again at some point. But they're supposed to believe that, hey, they're very clear that there is no intention of bringing it back. Okay, then get rid of it. They won't. And they just want people to forget about it. And then all of a sudden, it's going to be climate fear-mongering over the summer, like every summer now. And then when they come back from the fall, we need to remove the pause, or maybe even does it during the summer. Or maybe next summer, or whenever. But you got to think that if they're only going to hit the pause button, they're going to resume it at some point. Otherwise, it would be on the top of their agenda to get rid of it and actually show that they're serious about getting rid of it. Instead of signing some fake document that doesn't mean anything. But a lot of Canadians, they think that it's gone now because Mark Carney signed some paper. It's crazy. But then again, you have a country full of extremely fickle voters, low information voters, one issue voters, and they'll believe it because they believe everything. The same people who are on their 19th booster shot and they've got COVID 3 times. They believe that too, didn't they? What won't they believe? Who knows? But let me hear your voice. I want you to make it very clear. The Liberals love saying that. Chrystia Freeland, every other phrase, every paragraph she utters, I want to make myself very clear. I want to be very clear. Mr. Speaker, I've been very clear. They love that term. So I want you guys to make it very clear what you think of the carbon tax and the Liberal Party, and I can't wait to see those comments. Please don't be shy. Let me know what you think. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps grow the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back shortly with a new video.